Good morning, Hammers fans. Hope you're all well. Apologies, I didn't do my daily show yesterday. To be honest, I just couldn't bring myself to report on yet another player link, and that is kind of the theme of this video, really. So a little disclaimer, as if the thumbnail isn't enough. I'm going to have a little bit of a moan up. But before I start, Winjim, if you do somehow enjoy this video, please drop a like on it. And if you're new around here, why not subscribe? I promise they're not all like this. So look, let's get on with the whinge. Now, as we all know, we've been linked with, like 50 plus players already. And look, hardly any of them have got any substance. They haven't. And it's not all down to the club either, and it's not, these things just spread like wildfire, a lot of it comes from the ITKs, they prey on our desperation. And I know I should just shut off from it all and wait till the players in the shirt. But we need players so desperately in this window, it's a big rebuild job. So it is difficult not to keep an eye on things. And like I say, I do think that the ITKs are playing on the desperation of people like me. Now, I know some people do genuinely believe that the ITKs, they know who Moyes is definitely interested in signing. But seriously, they don't. I mean, I'm not even so sure that David Moyes knows who he's interested in. I'm not certain of it. Not at this stage. We all know it's the ITKs that drive the rumours. And look, I'm not here to have a go at them all. It's supply and demand at the end of the day. And if they weren't doing it, then somebody else would. Because the need for information, irrespective of how accurate it is, it's massive. It's massive. The battle to be the one that reports on a player first, I find it a bit odd. But it's a modern way, I suppose. And as my mate John said earlier on, if you throw enough darts, at some point you're going to hit the bullseye. But yeah, like I said, I don't know why we hang on to every word. I just think we all want to see this new. We know how desperate we are for a player. We are desperate, and we want to believe these stories. So yeah, like I say, but look, enough about the ITK and false reporting world. The fact is, we know that David Moyes is after a raft of players in this window because he needs a raft of players. So undoubtedly, some of the rumours are going to have some substance, but trying to determine which one is which, which are accurate, is virtually impossible. We've only been doing this channel, really, for a short while, and our first transfer window was in January. Now, we must have reported in January on about 50 players. You do all the research, and kind of, you start to believe it yourself. And look, we all know how many we signed in January. Absolutely none. There was nothing happened. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we're not breaking the news. We don't create the links. We've got no interest at all in being ITKs. All we do is we merely speculate on the news that you've all read, that's already out there, and we just try and have some debate and discussion over it. But nonetheless, after the last window, I did say never again. I was so frustrated with it all. And I was starting to feel like part of the problem because it felt like we were circulating what turned out to be bullshit rumours through our platform. So in this window, I said, look, let's wait until we sign a player at least before we go again. And yesterday, we were due to be putting out a daily show, and the only news was more player rumours. Again, a right-footed Danish left back, Tillemans for 40 million. Forget that one. There's no way he's coming to West Ham. And this Danjuma link, which we're all excited about. We all like a nice, tricky, fast winger. But I couldn't be arsed with it. Now, before we started doing this, I try to ignore a lot of the noise because, it does get to you a little bit. But because of what we do, we kind of have to try and keep up with all of these stories. And believe me, it's torture. We're not even a month in, and like I said, it feels like we're over the 50 player mark. I think it was Dom on Twitter earlier on. He's been tracking them. But anyway, let me talk to you about why I'm so frustrated and why I'm so nervous, because I am nervous. I'm tracking these stories, as I've already said, because we are desperate for players, more so than any other Premier League team. This is a big rebuild job. And so far, all we've done is we've secured the permanent signing of a player that we had last season, and we've signed what looks like a Diop replacement, as now we know that Diop's on his way out the door. So, yeah, Areola, great, I'm glad we've got him. And Aguerd, time will tell if he's a good signing or not. The show reels look good. But it's hardly inspired business up to this point when you look at the gaps that we've got to fill. Now, pre-season starts bloody soon, and we need these new players in quickly so that they can bed in. Because We all know the early schedule, once that season starts in August, it is jam-packed with fixtures because of this poxy Winter World Cup. So why are we taking so long to get going with filling these gaps? Where is the urgency? Now, look, I know we've still got, what is it? Well, as you can see there, 61 days until the window closes. So I should be more patient. But my patience was tested last summer when we dragged our heels the entire window over Zuma and Lingard. And then we ended up panic signing Vlasic and Krau. And then what patience I had left completely expired in January. In that was the worst window ever. And as far as I'm concerned, all of this talk about people saying, oh, it's David Moyes ain't in control, it's Sullivan still getting involved. Well, no, that was the first window ever in Golden Sullivan's reign where we didn't sign a player. We didn't sign a single player, not one, not even a crap player like we're normally used to. Nothing. We just needed bodies in that window. We got nothing. Now look, yes, I know, in Moyes we trust, but in terms of the transfer windows, seriously, I don't trust the Moyes-Sullivan combination. It does feel like a match made in hell. With Sullivan's interfering ways and the stubbornness of Moyes and that indecision, it feels like a recipe for, an empty plate. Now look, I'm releasing this video, what I'm hoping will be stupidly prematurely, because all the free transfers are going to be available as of today, and we should start seeing movement. I mean, Lingard should be coming, we hope, and these dominoes at the other clubs, they should start to fall, so we should start seeing movement over the next week or so. So I'm genuinely hoping, that this video is going to be something I'll get the piss rips out of me for, because, we go on and have a fantastic window. But I can't help it. It's just this gut feeling that I've got. I'm not so sure that we're going to. And I don't want to be I'm not a bearer of bad news. I don't know this. I'm just talking to you about how I feel. And I can't be on my own. And maybe I am just being impatient and... Well, I'm not entitled. But I mean, what do you think? Do you think we're going to have a good window? But what is the hold-up? I mean, I'm trying to understand the process that we follow as a club in getting these players into the club, because it's starting to genuinely feel now that we are just going for the wrong types of targets. And the fans, it ain't the fans that are driving these silly rumours. We didn't go out in January. We weren't asking to be linked with Phillips and Nunez and Rafinha and players like that. All we wanted was numbers. We knew we needed to pad the squad out. I mean, yeah, it's great to hear that you're linked with players like that. And that's part of the problem that we've got now, because we all heard Moyes' quotes in January when he said, we will only sign players better than we already have. And then he expanded on that. He went on to say that we tried to break our transfer record 3 times in that window. He confirmed it. And the 3 players that we all learned later were Rafinha, Phillips and Nunez. Now, look, as a fan, once you're linked with players like this and you hear the manager talk like that, your expectations get raised. And the ITKs and the media, they feed on that, don't they? But look, in all seriousness, when you think about it, why the hell are we going for profiles of player like that? We've got no chance of getting them. I mean, even if you get past the transfer fee, you're going to get stuck on the salary that these players earn or that they want to earn, because we can't offer Champions League football. So the only thing you can offer a profile of player like that is silly money. I mean, who even establishes these targets? Because you certainly don't need a head of recruitment and scouting to tell you that Rafinha is a good player. And who conducts all the feasibility side of things as well? Because before you go into any bother about making a bid for a player, now I know you're not allowed to tap players up. You're not allowed to do it, but it does happen. Agents, they talk to agents all the time. So what they should be doing is they should reach out to the player's agent. They should sound them out. Simple questions. Darwin Nunez's agent, would he be interested in a move to West Ham? Would he be interested in relocating, from Portugal to Stratford? And what type of salary is he looking at as well? Because obviously we've got a bit of a wage cap. We can't go mad. Because there is just no point pursuing any deal if a player is disinterested or if you can't afford them. And then you hear of all these other stories about how difficult it is to pass Moyes' fit and proper test. to establish the character of the player, I assume. I mean, what the hell is that? I mean, what does he do? Does he lock them in a little room or something and put them through a series of awkward questions to see how they react? I mean, I've never heard nothing like it. I mean, we heard that Dan Juma over the last few days, that he pushed for a move to West Ham, and that West Ham have reached an agreement with Villarreal. But the rumour, depending on what you want to believe, is that either we can't agree personal terms, so we've agreed a fee, but now we can't agree personal terms, or that Moyes feels like the player is lazy, that he's got a bad attitude, and he's basically said, no, don't want him. I mean, it is maddening. It really is. It drives you nuts. How many bottlenecks can we have in a process to get a player? And how the hell are we going to make 6 more signings with constraints like that? 6 more signings in 61 days. I mean, yeah, look, on paper, it's great to be careful. I mean, we've signed loads of crap in the past. We signed 2 crap players in the summer, didn't we? And it is good to be careful. But taking your time, it's no guarantee of anything. Like I say, look at the panic signings of Krau and Vlasic last season. And that was all because we dragged our heels for so long over Zuma and Lingard. We had no window left. And that will happen again. If we drag our heels throughout this window, we're going to be in a serious state of panic at the end of it. And we're probably going to end up overpaying for players that we probably don't want. Like Brozier at the minute. Apparently, look, again, I don't know this. This is only what I've read. Right, apparently, we've offered 30 million. There's a bit of an impasse because Chelsea want more, so they might be asking for 35, closer to 40. Just say it's 40, right? We say no. We're going to go out and look at other targets. You ain't going to get him cheaper at the end of the window. They're not in any rush to sell him, Chelsea. They don't have to. And if we go back desperate, cap in hand, at the end of the window saying, Brozier, please let us have him, it's going to be more than what they wanted in the first place because we're over a barrel. You can't be like that. I just want to see some urgency from us and some decisiveness. And I'm not seeing it. We never see it, do we? I mean, if Lingard, if he turns us down again, where do we go from now? But look, like I say, I do hope that this is all premature from me. It probably is. You know, I do normally go too soon, and we will start. We could start seeing top quality players coming through the door. You know, we could, and I hope we do. I sincerely mean that. But I just want to see some action. You know, the fact is, you know, we've got 1 aging left back, we've got 2 central midfielders, we've got 1 striker, and no natural left winger. And it needs fixing. It needs fixing as soon as possible. And if that means that Moyes has got to take a risk on a spiky character, then so be it. So be it. I mean, would David Moyes have ever signed Di Canio? Probably not. There's no way Di Canio would have signed his fit and proper test. Sometimes these players, they come through the door, they're a revelation. You know, sometimes a bad attitude can be confused with a player who's got character. You know? And one more thing on this process as well, another thing, it really grinds my gears. Why do we have to operate on a 1 player at a time basis? Why can't we make offers for several players at once? It's like, right, we'll get the centre-back done, then we'll do the goalkeeper, then we'll move on to another one. It's not an endless window. Why can't we run with more than 1 deal concurrently? You know, if you're out there for a striker and you've got your list, you have to believe that David Moyes has got his short list, right? He might have 5 players on that list. You bid for them all, surely. You put bids in for them all because you think, right, I can't mess around in this window. We've got to get players over the line. I like all 5 of those players. Let's put the bids in. You might end up with 2 getting to an advanced stage. Then you've got a decision to make. But to do it the way that we're doing it is, it drives me mad. But anyway, look, I am sorry. I'll stop now. That is enough money from me. And like, you have my word. I'll say no more on this matter for a few weeks, and we'll go back to normal again. I just had to get this off my chest, and hopefully I'll look very silly in a week or so. But let me know what your thoughts are on the situation. You know, let me know in the comments. You know, I'm sure the comments are going to be your knee jerking, you're being an idiot, that stuff like that. Hopefully I am. So I hope I've not ruined your Friday. But look, at least it's a weekend, so have a good one. All right, come on, you Irons.